You know how people say you can see red flags, but love makes you colorblind? I never thought that would be me. I've always been cautious, the kind of person who double-checks the oven, keeps receipts, and overanalyzes text messages for tone. I thought I was too grounded to get swept up, too rational to mistake infatuation for something real. But Jake slipped past every guard I thought I had. We met in the most ordinary way. Nothing cinematic. No spilled coffee or meet-cute music swelling in the background. Just the quiet chaos of a used bookstore on a rainy October afternoon. I remember I was reaching for a copy of Milk and Honey. He reached for the shelf next to mine at the exact same time, knocked over a stack of Bukowski, and muttered, "Shit, sorry," before laughing at the mess he made. I looked up, a little annoyed. Then I saw him, damp hoodie, dark hair curling at the ends, the kind of half-smile that makes you want to know what joke he just told himself. He crouched to help me pick up the books, then held one out. "Poetry fan?" I shrugged. "When I'm sad enough." He laughed. "So, like every other Tuesday?" I smiled. And that was it. That's how it started. We sat on the floor between shelves for over an hour that day. I don't even remember what we talked about. Just the feeling, easy, unforced, like we'd always known how to do this. Like we were old friends trying to remember where we left off. His name was Jake. He worked in graphic design, freelanced mostly. Said he hated cubicles and silence. But funny enough, silence with him never felt empty. It felt warm, like someone had finally turned the volume down on the world. We started seeing each other that same week. First coffee, then late-night walks through the city, then weekends spent in his apartment, curled up with takeout and indie films that neither of us finished because we were too busy talking about things we thought no one else would care about. Jake was charming in the most disarming way. Not performative. Not loud. Just honest, or at least he seemed to be. He was the kind of man who noticed everything. He knew I hated when people interrupted me mid-sentence, so he never did. He remembered how I liked my tea, which side of the bed I preferred, and the way I chewed my lip when I was nervous. 6 months passed like a dream you don't want to wake up from. We made traditions out of nothing. Pancakes every Friday night at 2 a.m. Leaving each other little notes hidden in coat pockets or under pillows. Rating every pizza place within a 20-mile radius and keeping score on a whiteboard. He made me laugh when I didn't want to. Held me when I didn't know I needed it. He said I was his calm. That I made the world stop spinning just long enough for him to breathe. I believed him, but I should have noticed the shift. It was subtle at first, a longer pause before answering questions, a glazed-over look when I talked about the future. He stopped making plans more than a week ahead. The texts were still sweet, the kisses still soft, but something underneath had changed. And then, one night in early April, as we were lying in bed, our legs tangled together beneath a threadbare blanket, he said it. "I have to leave town soon." Just like that. No lead-in. No emotion. I turned toward him. "What do you mean?" He stretched his arms behind his head like we were just chatting about the weather. "Logistics job. Contract gig. Out in Arizona. It's temporary, just a few months. Nothing big." He didn't look at me when he said it. He stared at the ceiling like it held the answers. Like he couldn't face the questions in my eyes. And in that moment, something deep inside me tightened. Like a thread being pulled too far. But I didn't say anything. I just nodded. Pretended I understood. Because the truth is, I was afraid of what I might hear if I asked too many questions. I tried to adjust. After that night, I convinced myself I could be okay with the distance. I told myself this was what love sometimes required: space, sacrifice, trust. And God, did I want to be someone who could trust? The week after he told me about Arizona, he was extra sweet. Like he sensed I was trying to believe him and wanted to help me hold it together. He'd cook for me, send me random playlists, and one night, he showed up at my apartment with a warm apple pie and said, "You looked tired in your text. Figured you could use dessert." I laughed. I kissed him, and I clung to him just a little tighter. But there was still that look in his eyes when he didn't know I was watching, like he was somewhere else already. Like he'd already left. Then, 3 days before his supposed departure, he said he had a surprise. A weekend away, he told me. Cabin in the woods. Just us. No signal. No distractions. I packed like it was a honeymoon. It rained the entire drive upstate. We sang along to old songs on the radio. He held my hand while steering. And for a little while, it felt like we were escaping the world, not running from each other. The cabin was small, rustic, more creaky than cozy retreat. But it had charm. A fireplace, a bottle of red wine on the counter, and this view of endless pine trees through the rain-speckled windows. By the time we got there, we were soaked. I was shivering and trying to shake off my jacket when he turned to me with this half-crazed, joyful look. "Don't move," he whispered. Then he dropped to one knee. My heart stopped. I stared at him, rain dripping from his hair, his jeans soaked, the box already in his hand. Inside was a ring, thin gold band, delicate. A small sapphire. Simple, but beautiful. He didn't say, "Marry me." Instead, he said, "I don't want you to doubt us. Not now, not ever. No matter how far I go, I'll always come back to you. This isn't a goodbye. This is a promise." I cried. Like ugly cried. Because I believed him. Because a ring means forever, right? I nodded. Whispered yes. And as he slid it onto my finger, something inside me whispered, "This is too perfect." But I ignored it. Because I wanted to believe in the kind of love that leaves and still returns. The kind that survives time and distance. The kind that's worth waiting for. He kissed my hand, then my lips. And that night, in the quiet of that rain-soaked cabin, I fell asleep thinking I was the luckiest woman in the world. He left the following Monday. We stood outside my apartment, hugging longer than usual. I tried not to cry. He kissed my forehead and said, "We've got this." Then he got into a Lyft and disappeared down the street. At first, it was okay. The first few days, he messaged me constantly. Updates about his flight, the Airbnb he rented in Arizona, photos of sunsets and coffee mugs. He called every night. "I miss you. I think about you nonstop. I can't wait to be back." I kept touching the ring, twisting it around my finger. It felt warm, real. But then, things shifted. One night, I texted him, "Can we FaceTime? Miss your face." No reply. The next morning, "Sorry, fell asleep early. Long day." Then, "Can't talk tonight. Exhausted." Then it turned into, "Busy. Let's talk tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. A week passed. Then 2. Texts became shorter. Replies took hours, sometimes days. I asked if everything was okay. He said work was just intense. Logistics. Late nights. No time to breathe. I told myself, it's fine. He warned me it would be like this. He's stressed. He loves me. But the ring on my finger started to feel heavier. Then, one night, restless and alone, I opened Instagram. Not his. Hers. A random girl named Lena. Not even a mutual friend. Just someone whose profile picture looked vaguely familiar. And there it was, a photo. A beach. His back. Her arms around him. Her face pressed to his neck, smiling like she'd won something. The caption? The one I've waited for all my life, blue heart. I stopped breathing, because on the back of his neck, just barely peeking out from under his collar, was that stupid compass tattoo. Jake. The comments made it worse. His friends. Finally, you two are perfect. And his mother commented. So happy for you two. You deserve the world, sweetheart. Sweetheart. Not me. Her. That was the moment I knew. He didn't leave for work. He left for her. The ring wasn't a promise. It was a decoy. I stared at that photo for an hour. Not crying. Not yelling. Just frozen, like my entire body was trying to catch up to the truth. Then I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I messaged him. 3 words. You lied. Why? He saw it. Never replied. No apology. No explanation. Nothing. Just silence, the loudest kind. So I took the ring off. Held it in my palm like it was made of fire. It left a faint indentation on my finger, pale, pink, ghostly. I found a small white box in my drawer. No note. No theatrics. Just the ring, carefully placed inside. I didn't send it to him. I sent it to his mother, the one who was so happy for him. Let her open it. Let her explain. That was 6 months ago. The ring is gone. Jake is a ghost in old playlists and the back corners of my mind. But this story, still lives in me. I learned something brutal, but necessary. Sometimes people give you a ring not to keep you, but to let themselves go without guilt. They use love like camouflage. They decorate their betrayal with gestures so grand, you don't realize you're being abandoned until they're already gone. Jake gave me a ring before he left me. And now I wear something else on that finger. A small scar. And a quiet reminder. To anyone listening. If someone gives you love, but not honesty. If they hand you promises, but hide the truth behind them. Don't hold on to the ring. Hold on to yourself. Because you are the real commitment.